That's what I'm talking about. Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Coffee with Tim Black.
Yes. Yeah. How you doing? Welcome to Coffee with Tim Black. I'm your host. It's January 8th, 2018, and it's that time. So what's going on, people? How you doing? My people on Periscope, my people on YouTube, my people on the notorious Facebook. We are doing it again today, Monday morning bright. Well, Monday afternoon, actually. I've been working since Monday morning, since this morning, but it is now the afternoon and kind of like early evening for some people. Look, guys, lots been going on. Let's cut to the chase. We got Steve Bannon backtracking, trying to clean up the mess. We got Stephen Miller was on Jake Tapper, and he had they had an exchange. There was a situation. And we got a homeowner, a Roy Moore accuser who experienced something that was less than Christian. That's one way to put it. But I'd like to start off today's show with
Coffee.
Oprah. Oprah. Yes, Oprah Winfrey. And there's a lot of talk about Oprah Winfrey becoming, it's in the shot. I can't get this out of the shot. But is it okay? I got to have my coffee, man. That's what this show's about. It's about coffee and talking about what's going on with the world. All right, let's get to it. Oprah Winfrey, she's making quite a ruckus because she was at the Golden Globes and she made some statements. Now, it wasn't the first time I've heard people talk about Oprah Winfrey maybe running for president. I've heard it before. It's a common thing. I covered it on this channel, on my YouTube channel. If you don't know my YouTube channel, well, it's there, Tim Black TV, TBTV. Put in Tim Black TV, you'll find it. But we've talked about the opportunity, many, middle-of-the-road type liberal people who love Oprah Winfrey think that she is a viable competitor to Donald Trump in 2020. And that idea was further bolstered by a speech given by Oprah Winfrey last night at the Golden Globes, where she was given the Cecil B. DeMille Award. So let's talk about it. Because look, there were some parts of her speech that I thought were good, and there were some parts of her speech I didn't think were so good. In fact, there were parts of her speech I downright hated. Let's talk about one part that was good. Okay, let's start with the good, the bad, okay? Let's go good first, because we're not haters. We just look at the truth. We look at a situation and we try to pull out the truth. So Oprah Winfrey delivered an affecting and rousing speech once again at the 75th Annual Golden Globe Awards. Winfrey was accepting the Cecil B. DeMille Award, as I just stated. And here goes the part that I like. She says, "So I want all the girls watching here now to know that there is a new day on the horizon. And when that new day finally dawns, it will be because a lot of magnificent women, many of whom are right here in this room tonight, and some pretty phenomenal men, fighting hard to make sure that they become the leaders who take us to the time when nobody ever has to say, 'Me too,' again." Oh, that was something. I like that. That's right. We give credit where it's due, right? We give credit where it's due. So that was the good one. I will admit that was good. I like that. I like that, YouTube. I like that, Periscope. I like the idea of men and women working together to make our society a shift culturally in our society, which is what I think it's going to take if you ever want any of this Me Too to translate into real change in this country. It's got to be a cultural shift. And I've said this, and I know people don't like hearing it. We've been using sex in this country to sell everything, from toilet paper to skin lotion to visors to cars. Everything in this country is built on sex. All right? And that's the vehicle. So in order for us to have this shift, and it's not just a shift on the male side of the game, it's a shift on the female side of the game too. Songs like I Don't Want No Broke You know, I don't want no broke dudes. I mean, we've all heard these songs. We've heard women's songs that were use what you got to get what you want. Use what you got to get what you want. We've heard this. It's part of the culture. And I'm not saying that women ever in control of it. Maybe women have adapted to the chauvinistic way that the country's set up. And who runs the country? These are just things I think. I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, though. I think I'm right. I think I'm damn right. But anyway, so this morning, like I said, everyone was talking about Oprah Winfrey. She may become our next president. And there was a very interesting segment on The View. I'd like to check that out. I'd like to share it with you. And it was very interesting. This is what Whoopi Goldberg had to say.
Male dominated, and that needs to change.
But
so
who's going to protect the woman at McDonald's? Who's going to protect a housekeeper?
That's what they want to do. They want to do it through their legal fund. And I do think that the next steps are important. And what was interesting to me was it was just an entire night of protest, right? From the acceptance speeches to the monologue to the clothing. And we've heard that criticism. You know, actors need to stay quiet. When I watch an award show, I just want to see, you know, speeches. I don't want to see political activism or this type of activism. Yeah. I wonder, are we now in a place where actors must do this, must use the platform?
No.
And where are those critics now?
Actors don't have to. Listen, not everybody's cut out to do this.
Yeah.
This is a very... I'm sorry?
There weren't that many who did, actually.
Well, you know...
But they were all wearing black as part of the protest.
But the point is, where do we go from here? I think women are watching out for women. So at McDonald's, the women who are working there are looking out for each other. They now know that it's okay to have each other's back. Yeah. There is a conversation that is happening in the country now that says it is very dangerous for men to sexually harass women. You will lose your job. That, for me, was the most important thing, the consequence of it.
Right.
Now, we have women talking to other women saying, how you doing? Do you need me to back you up? Can I be there for you? That's what's happening. It's on a small scale, yeah, and we don't hear about a lot of it because these women aren't in front of a camera.
Right.
But I'm thrilled that the conversation is happening and that it is no longer the norm not to tell.
Not to talk.
It is no longer, we no longer accept that as the norm. Women saying to other women, we will back you up. We will stand with you. You must tell. Because in order to get this person out of here, we need to say, here's what happened, here's who did it, and we're not going to take it. And I think that's what the next step may be.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
All right. I got to admit, I kind of like that idea. Because don't get me wrong, guys. I want to make sure you know I don't support chauvinism. I don't support women being mistreated. I tend to like women, and I tend to support women. My mom's a woman. My wife's a woman. My daughter's a woman. My sister's a woman. So I love women, and I think women should get a fair shake in all things. But I can't get away from the fact that I feel that a lot of this conversation is not trickling down into the masses. That it is staying at this high level of celebrity. It is staying at the level of actresses and big name producers and moguls, and it's still there. And I don't know. Maybe when I get back out in the streets and I talk to the people of D.C. who are just regular people walking about on their lunch break, maybe then I can come to the conclusion that, yes, this is filtering down. It's getting to the fast food workers, as Whoopi says it is. All right? So, I'm not totally sold on it, but I am sold on the idea that this could be good if this actually is, expanded to include people who are truly vulnerable, not just the rich and the elite of Hollywood and the major players in business. Now, I told you I had a part of Oprah's speech that I didn't agree with, and this is where they're going to call me a woman hater or divisive, but I got to point this out. One of the most I would say, controversial statements made in the Oprah Winfrey speech, because most of it you can't even have a different point of view on. It's like, do women deserve equal rights? Yeah. Should women be treated fairly? Yeah. Are you against sexual misconduct? Yeah. Are you against sexual harassment? Yeah. How could you be against that? But this is the comment here to me that I have an issue with. It says this. Now, this is what Oprah said. She said, and there's someone else, Reese Taylor, a name I know and I think you should know too. In 1944, Reese Taylor was a young wife and mother walking home from a church service she attended in Abbeville, Alabama, when she was abducted by 6 armed white men, raped, and left blindfolded by the side of the road coming home from church. They threatened to kill her if she told anyone. But her story was reported to the NAACP, where a young worker by the name of Rosa Parks became the lead investigator on her case, and together they sought justice. But justice wasn't an option in the era of Jim Crow. The men who tried to destroy her were never prosecuted. Reese Taylor died 10 days ago, just shy of her 98th birthday. She lived as we all have lived. Too many years in a culture broken by brutally powerful men. For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dare speak the truth to power to those men. But their time is up. Their time is up. Nothing, absolutely zero about Reese Taylor's story should be juxtaposed to the Me Too movement. Reese Taylor was raped by Klansmen. She was gang raped by Klansmen and left to die. She was threatened that her life would be taken, and probably the life of her family members as well, if she told anyone. And Reese Taylor's attackers admitted they raped her. They said, we raped her. So what? Because in the Jim Crow South, a black person did not have rights. Now, I don't think that would have went over very well with the Me Too theme of the night last night at the Golden Globes. But that's the reason why it shouldn't have been included. You don't get to truncate history in order to push your agenda. Black women being raped by white Klansmen, white men in the South, was a pretty regular thing, as was lynching. And that has no relation at all to someone who can't get a part or wants to get a part in Hollywood and has to go to the casting couch in order to get it. Or someone making lewd comments on a telephone and you hear them and you're going, I think somebody's doing something. Or meet me at the back of the club or something. This is totally different. And I think those things need to be separated. And I don't think you get to water that down, even if your name is Oprah Winfrey. The history, the horrible history of racial inequality, the horrible history of black women not getting the treatment, the same treatment as white women, should not be softened to fit some liberal agenda, even if that liberal agenda is positive. You don't get to do it. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. But she did it anyway. And I don't think, and if that's the type of president you think I would support, well, you got another thing coming, because I would not support that. And I think there are many others who would see it the way I see it and find what Oprah did last night unacceptable, even if it is decorated in populist rhetoric about helping women. If you don't have the balls to say in 1944 black women got raped like nothing and there was no repercussions, and black men were lynched and there was no repercussions, if you don't have the balls to say that, Oprah, then you can't speak for me, because you're too worried about pleasing your fan base, which is primarily a bunch of middle-aged white women who don't really want to be reminded of really what our country's built on and the difference between black feminism and white feminism. And once again, these are not popular subjects, but they're the fucking truth. And if you don't have the guts, once again, to face that, then you shouldn't talk about it. Give it up for that. Woo! That's going to leave a mark. Guess I won't be coming on the Oprah Winfrey Show. But I wasn't going to be coming on there anyway, dog. That's the thing. So you can't worry about that. You cannot worry about ratings. You can't worry about who you piss off. And that's why people thought Trump didn't care. See, but we know Oprah cares about ratings. She cares about pleasing people. Trump didn't care about pleasing people. That's one reason why the Tea Partiers trusted him. Anyway, let me stop. Let me just go on. Let me go on. I get pissed off about this, man. I do.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
I ain't falling for no bananas in my tailpipe, man, just because y'all think it's convenient. Anyway, next story, y'all. Oh, I'm punchy today. Steve Bannon. No, let's hold Steve Bannon. Let's go to Stephen. It's another Steve. Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller went on CNN Jake Tapper's show, and they had what you would call a good old standoff. And it was all types of drama. And what I want to do now is I want to share that clip with you. And then
amongst agencies, the big...
Oh, well, I had to cut Anna Navarro off. But anyway, here goes the clip of Jake Tapper.
On this issue of fitness. And he said, quote, actually, throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, like, really smart. Crooked Hillary Clinton also played these cards very hard and, as everyone knows, went down in flames. I went from very successful businessman to top TV star to president of the United States on my first try. I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius, and a very stable genius at that. Do you think tweets like that help or hurt the cause that the president is stable and up for the job?
Not only do I think they help it, but I think in the toxic environment that you've created here in CNN and cable news, which is a real crisis of legitimacy for your network, and we saw it, of course, with the extremely fake news you reported about the Don Jr. and WikiLeaks story. There was a huge embarrassment for your network.
Stephen.
Just like the huge embarrassment you had when you got the Comey testimony wrong.
Stephen, I'm trying to get to the issue of the president's fitness, which a lot of people are questioning.
I'm getting to the issue of your fitness, but the president's tweets absolutely reaffirmed the plain-spoken truth. A self-made billionaire revolutionized reality TV and tapped into something magical that's happening in the hearts of this country. The people that you don't...
The president has approval rating in the 30s. I don't know what magical you're talking about.
The people that you don't connect with and understand, the people whose manufacturing jobs have left, who've been besieged by high-crime communities, and who've been affected by a policy of uncontrolled immigration, those voices, those experiences don't get covered on this network. That's why, to prove the point, I was booked to talk about the very issues I'm just describing, and you're not even asking about them because they're not interesting facts to you.
That's not true. I have plenty of questions on immigration. You've attempted to filibuster by talking about your flights with the president. I want to ask you a question because
don't be condescending, Jake.
Stephen,
Jake,
the president and the White House.
The reason why I want to talk about
the president and the White House.
The reason why I want to talk about the president's experiences, what I've seen with him traveling to meet dozens of foreign leaders, with his incredible work.
Okay, you're not answering the questions.
No,
I understand.
You have 24 hours a day of anti-Trump material, and you're not going to give 3 minutes for the American people to hear the real experience of Donald Trump.
There's one viewer that you care about right now, and you're being obsequious. You're being a factotum in order to please him, okay?
No.
And I think I've wasted enough of my viewers' time.
Let me put this back on. Where's my coffee shot? Is that my coffee? Yeah, it's my coffee shot. All right. So Stephen Miller, he flipped it on Jake Tapper. He flipped it. He didn't allow Jake Tapper to keep him on message, which I find is totally ironic because Jake Tapper is a seasoned interviewer. He's been doing this for a long time. He has his own show on CNN. And still, somehow, Stephen Miller was able to really avoid answering questions. Really just shift the focus and making it about how bad CNN was, how bad Jake Tapper was. Wow. That's amazing. It's amazing that he was able to do that to Jake Tapper. Anyway, that's an inside joke for those who saw my Donna Brazile video. Look, man, of course Stephen Miller is going to stay on message for Donald Trump. He knows what happens if you don't carry water for Donald Trump. He is obviously defending President Trump in this interview. He does make some points. Jake Tapper makes some points, but at the end of the day, it's just a I don't know, standoff, an old Texas standoff. I don't know. These two guys going at it. What did we really accomplish in this interview? The point, what Jake Tapper wants to get to, and what the Michael Wolff Fire and Fury book tries to lay out is the fact that, or is an allegation. And the allegation is this: Donald Trump is mentally unfit to be president. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the message that they're trying to send. So I don't think Jake Tapper did a great job of forcing Stephen Miller to admit to this allegation, that that's the case. And I don't think Stephen Miller did a great job, frankly, of, well, you know what? I would say Stephen Miller did a good job of avoiding having to answer questions. So it was interesting. And now, just to let you know, after the interview, it's been reported that Stephen Miller had to be escorted off the premises because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to continue the conversation. And as you can see, Jake Tapper was not having it. He said, "You wasted too much of my time, my audience's time. You got to get out of here." So it's sort of like an Omarosa thing where you get thrown out, allegedly. And Stephen Miller was escorted away. Yeah.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
I don't know. I guess Stephen Miller, I mean, he's a trusted White House policy advisor, senior advisor to Donald Trump, and he has said some really crazy things. I think everyone's very careful around the Trumpster about what they say because he knows damn well. And Trump did tweet about this exchange, and of course, he said that Stephen Miller did a great job, and that Jake Tapper sucks, basically. All right. What else do we got? We got more here. Let's move on to your friend, Steve Bannon. Do I have a Steve Bannon? We know what Steve Bannon looks like, right? Because I don't see my Steve Bannon picture here. No Steve Bannon? Well, let's do this. Let's all imagine a donut with feet. A donut with feet that looks like it's been kicked way too many times. And there you have Steve Bannon. No. That's too cheap. Hold on. Picture Frosty the Snowman, who has already begun melting, and I don't know, he's wearing a swastika. Now you got Steve Bannon. No, I'm joking, man. Steve Bannon, I don't know if he's a Nazi or not. Maybe a neo-Nazi. Steve Bannon, recently, the book Fire and Fury. The guy made a lot of comments that were allegedly, right? Like, I don't know if Michael Wolff told the truth, or if he got the quotes right, if they're correct, if they're accurate. A lot of the White House, everyone coming out of the White House is saying that those quotes in the book Fire and Fury were misrepresented, that they were false. Steve Miller in that interview, earlier in that interview, I didn't show you in the clip, but he said they were grotesque, they were mischaracterizations, that they were fiction. Yeah. So, I don't know. Sure is hot. It's a hot seller right now. Well, Steve Bannon finally came out, and Steve Bannon is now saying, "Hey, I apologize for not coming out earlier. I should have came out and said it. Hey, those comments, I didn't mean them. I didn't say them. I want to be friends. I still love Trump." The Wolf quotes Bannon as saying that the July 2016 meeting with Donald Jr. attended at Trump Tower was treasonous and should have been reported to the FBI immediately. That was the major hit, one of the major hits. Attacking Donald Trump or attacking Trump Jr. is one of the biggest no-nos in the Trump world, right after attacking the big boss himself. Now, this is a statement that Bannon put out over the weekend. He says, "My support is also unwavering for the president and his agenda, as I have shown daily on my national radio broadcast, on the pages of Breitbart News, and in speeches and appearances from Tokyo and Hong Kong to Arizona and Alabama. President Trump was the only candidate that could have taken on and defeated the Clinton apparatus. I am the only person to date to conduct a global effort to preach the message of Trump and Trumpism, and remains ready to stand in the breach for his president's efforts to make America great again." Give it up, because that folks, that is butt kissing to the, like, I don't know, extraordinaire. That is butt kissing. That's a clinic on kissing ass. That is damage control. Damage control to the highest order. I'm telling you, Bannon knows what time it is. Bannon had his investors walk away from him. A large amount of his audience have turned their backs on him, and he's sitting alone right now. So, yeah, he needs to come out and try to right the ship with Donald Trump. It did not go well for him. He also went on to say this: I regret that my delay in responding to the inaccurate reporting regarding Don Jr. has diverted attention from the president's historical accomplishments in the first year of his presidency. Did he say anything else? No, not really. So, hey, it's a rookie mistake. I stuck a knife in Donald Trump and he didn't go down. It looks like I go down. And looks like, well, I'm speaking as if I'm Steve Bannon, of course. So Steve Bannon, he shivs Donald Trump. It doesn't work. It doesn't kill him. Instead, what happens is the knife gets turned on himself and he has to do a harikari, self-inflicted and turn it thing because, well, it's Donald Trump and your supporters, the people who view your content, the people who read Breitbart News, the people who made Steve Bannon relevant, they don't like what they read. So that's it for that. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about Steve Bannon and his walk back, his dial back, his coming out. Is it too little too late to make a difference? Is he still persona non grata? And will he still crash and burn? And will his investors, like the Mercers, continue to support Breitbart? All good questions. All right, guys. Now, this is the part of the show where I remind you, and I think it's important for you to remember, this show is not brought to you by the GOP, the DNC, or any other organization. This show is brought to you by people like you who appreciate truth-telling. They want it real. They want it true. They want it, and they want their news real, true, and delivered in a way that's not cookie cutter. They're tired of Don Lemons and Jake Tappers, and Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid. They want it different. And that's what we try to do here. So if you enjoy this content, if you value it, go to TimBlackTV.com, find the link to become a monthly supporter of the show. Give as little as $1 a month. That's right, $1 or $1,000. Doesn't matter. Fund independent media. All right, guys. Now, last but not least, where's my little lady here? She is a fantastic truth speaker. She's a fantastic truth speaker here. And now they are dogging her out. Where is she at? Her name is Tina. Is it Tina? Do I have Tina? Bear with me, guys. Because what's going on with her? Well, I cannot. Maybe I didn't add her picture, man. This is no one's fault but my own, guys. Let me see if I can find it, because it is kind of important if I can find it. There we go. I've got it. Here we go. This lady here, she's getting a raw deal, so I want to make sure I cover this. It's important. The lady that you see here, her name is Tina Johnson. She was one of the accusers of Roy Moore. Okay? One of the accusers of Roy Moore, Tina Johnson, Alabama resident. Now, days after Roy Moore's accusers' Alabama house went up in flames, over $150,000 has been raised to help the woman's family rebuild. Now, I was alerted to this by my friend Momo Pineno, my graphic designer. He told me about this, I think it was Thursday. And he sent out a tweet. He said, if people don't understand, or people have a problem accepting that this type of thing goes on in Alabama, then they don't know anything about Alabama. Tina Johnson, she stood up. She said this about Roy Moore. It was a sexual deviant. It was sexual harassment, misconduct. And for that, someone burns down their damn house. Just set it ablaze. And now, this is the most interesting part. Now, you and I, we could put that together. We say, okay, why would people burn down their house? She never had a house burned down before. So now, after coming out about Roy Moore, her house gets burned down. But for some reason, that's too big a leap for the Alabama police because they don't believe that there's any connection between her talking about Roy Moore and her house being burnt down. You can't make this shit up. Okay, Johnson, who's among several women who went public. The fire that destroyed Tina Johnson's home on January 3rd is being investigated as a possible arson. Authorities say they do not believe the blaze is linked to her allegations of sexual misconduct against former judge and Senate candidate Moore, and they are talking to a person of interest in connection with the fire. Did you hear that? They say they don't think there's a connection between her house getting burnt down and her speaking out, her making these allegations against Roy Moore. And see, this is why independent media is so important. Because only in a world as corrupt as this, when who said this shit? Was who the authorities? I don't know. They just say authorities. Only in a world this corrupt could people get away with being this blatantly biased, being this blatantly in the bag, being this blatantly unfair, being this blatant lying, actually. Just call it what it is. Blatant lying. You know, anyone who believes that her house is just randomly torched with no relation to Roy Moore, they not only don't know Alabama, they don't know common sense. Give it up for that. Woo! Woo! That's how horrible it is, guys. That's how horrible it is. Now, guys, I'd like to take you to our next segment. You stay hanging there, Tina. And look, shout out to anybody who gave money to help out Tina Moore and the family. I think that's horrific what happened. But now, let's go to one-liners. One-liners, y'all. We got a few one-liners for you. One-liner number one. A federal judge tossed out the criminal charges against Nevada cattleman Cliven Bundy. Not only him, but his two sons and a co-defendant. Now, you may remember Cliven Bundy. He was the Nevada rancher dude who they held up for what, like a month? I don't know. It was like a month standoff between them and the ATF or the, I don't know. Who was that out there? The land people. Well, he got off. Absolutely nothing's going to happen to Cliven Bundy. In fact, the judge in the case says it was flagrant misconduct on the behalf of the prosecutors and on the FBI. You can't. Yeah. Cliven Bundy's a victim here. All I gotta say is let a bunch of black guys like hold up some area. I don't know. Let us try to hold up. I don't know, some land in Philly. It's like, oh, we're gonna claim this is us right here. We hold this. We're gonna hold it down. Anybody in I don't know, DC? Oh, how about Baltimore? Yeah, we're gonna claim Druid Hill Park, Druid Park. Yeah, we're just gonna hold that. And then we're gonna sue the government for shooting us. Number two, one-liners. Susan Sarandon was reunited with Gina Davis at the Golden Globes. They were celebrating coming back together. You know, that famous, iconic getaway movie, right? Gina Davis, Susan Sarandon, Thelma and Louise. They drive off the cliff into the sunset. It's a great movie, right? Well, they get together. They got together last night, and they did the best, I think it was the best actor. They gave that award out. And there was some comments made or whatever. Well, it's not so much about what Susan Sarandon said. It's about what Twitter did. Oh, man, Twitter hates Susan Sarandon. I happen to love Susan Sarandon, but Twitter hates her. They still blame Susan Sarandon for Hillary Clinton losing. Oh, yeah. They still think it's her fault. It's still Susan Sarandon's fault that Hillary lost to Trump. Look, let me get this right. And hopefully this will be the last time I have to explain it. You got one actress with the guts to say Hillary's a horrible candidate and I don't trust her. But you had all the rest of Hollywood all supporting her. You mean to tell me that you believe Susan Sarandon is more influential than Beyonce, Jay-Z, Meryl Streep, Michael Moore, hell, I'm just picturing any celebrity. Rihanna, Mary J. Blige, give me some white ones. You got any white ones? Like the idea for this to make sense that you guys bash Susan Sarandon just because she was one of like a few that you can count on one hand of celebrities who didn't support Hillary Clinton, that is so stupid. It's not only stupid, it's like insane. It's beyond stupid. You have to be a crazy person to believe that Hillary Clinton would $1 billion worth of money to run her campaign. Experts, a Team Hillary, up there in New York, that all of that was thwarted by one actress by the name of Susan Sarandon. You'd have to be a lunatic to think that. That is crazy. That's beyond belief that you would assume, that you would even think that that makes sense. Like, that is crazy talk. That is crazy. That is this unmitigated stupidity. Face it. Look, Hillary Clinton lost to a reality TV host. It's because she was not a good candidate and she did not run a good campaign. She had no clear message. Her message could not be, I'm not Trump. That's not a message. It didn't work. Get over it. Stop telling me to get over the fact that the Democratic Party, the DNC, rigged the election, and I said rigged. Stop telling me to get over that when you can't get over the fact that Hillary got beat by Trump. And this is how it'll happen again in 2020. If you don't put the onus on the candidate that you run to be a better candidate, to be a better politician, to have a better message, to excite voters, if you can't do that, we will get another 4 years of Trump. And if you want to blame Tim Black for it, go ahead. Because I don't give a shit. All right, that was an extended one-liner. That was extended. I don't. I would just like to add, I also find it very funny that Donna Brazile could write a book that calls out the DNC and calls out the Hillary Clinton campaign and people panic. But, oh my God, Michael Wolff, whoever this guy is, he writes a book and he gets a couple quotes from Steve Bannon. You guys treat it like it's actual biblical text. Just find that ironic. So it's just a little different there. So let me get this right. So Donna Brazile, 40-year track record. Steve Bannon, I don't know. 2-time DNC chair. Michael Wolff, I don't know what he does. All right, anyway. All right. Next one-liner. Last but not least, one-liner. Billionaire Tom Steyer held a press conference stating he will spend $30 million in 2018 to help the Democrats take back the House. His true goal, his overarching goal is to have Donald Trump impeached and thrown out of office. So yeah, they're willing to put their money where their mouth is and to put their money into influencing the campaign, and they really want to get Donald Trump out of office by hook or by crook or by book. That was pretty good. Yeah, hook, crook, book. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this edition of Coffee with Tim Black. Remember to share this show with your friends, your neighbors, and even people you don't like. They deserve the truth, too. I'll see you soon for coffee. Well, I'll see you soon for Black Word Today. And tonight, I'll see you again for the Tim Black Show, No Sellout edition. Stay up. And remember.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
I ain't falling for no bananas in my tailpipe, baby. Do I still got that coffee thing?
Coffee with Tim Black.
Yeah.